Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is another video about Tai Chi, and it's the second in my series on Cloud Hands. Now, in the first video about Cloud Hands, what I talked about was how we could take Cloud Hands from the hand form and turn it into a single stance, a static exercise, and that it had two benefits. One was that we could practice our Cloud Hands, we could practice coordinating the arms, we could in particular practice moving the arm by using the body. So the body's moving the arm's not moving itself, the body's moving the arm. So one of the things that we could do was practice that in this static posture, in this single posture version of Cloud Hands. And the other thing was that we got a meditative exercise out of it, which I like very much, and I must say this is pretty much what I do on my balcony where I don't really have room for the hand form. I think it's very pleasant and it's very grounding. At the end of this, we'll do some guided practice together. Let's take a look at how we can modify this to get from where we are, from a single stance into a moving stance. Okay, so let's look at Cloud Hands in the long form and in the short form. In the short form, the competition short form, which Master Doherty introduced in 1990, he only does two rotations of the arms, and in the long form we do three, and I teach the short form with three because why stint? So here's Cloud Hands. Now, last week what we talked about was doing single stance, static Cloud Hands, which we were doing like this. And what we talked about was, briefly, because you can watch the video, thinking about how much tuck from the pelvis we had, avoiding sticking our bottom out and putting a hollow into the back, but just rounding off the back very slightly, just settling into the stance, back straight, head's extended out from the shoulders. So. I talked about adjusting the feet and the knees in and out so that we get a good position with the thighs going out over the feet and not rolling the knee in or out. So take your time, adjust, find the position that's working for you. Hands just rising a little bit above the shoulder at the top. So this is what we did last week. This is what we did in the last one. Now, there's a progression. The progression is that we can move the weight. You have to be a little bit careful because as you do this, your foot tends to work its way out and you end up with a wider stance. So you do have to make some adjustments as you go along. I'm always talking about adjustments in the form and saying don't be a slave to your posture. There is an exception. If you go full pajama and you're doing a demonstration, then in that case I think you do work with whatever stance you've ended up in. But I think that when you're practicing, that is, it's not a performance, you should make adjustments as you go along. So let's put all this together. I'm going to show you the exercise and then we'll do a guided practice. So here's the first part. And here we're getting the nice stretch at the top of the thigh adductor where it joins into the pelvis. But we're not moving the feet. We're not moving the feet, so we get a bit of a stretch in the thigh adductor, which I like in the morning. Eye lines following the open palm. The body is moving the arm. The body moves the arm. Not the arm moving on its own, the body is moving the arm. Now we can transfer the weight, and we need to move the back foot in, just like we would in the hand form. See, I'm making that little bit of an adjustment to try and bring the heel back in so that stance isn't too wide. Okay, so let's do it together. I'm going to turn my back to the camera. If you're looking at your screen, it would be as if you were behind me, and then you can just follow along, copying my movements. When we've settled into the movements and we want to connect the breath and the movements, we are observing the breath and we're just laying the movement on top of the breath. Don't disturb the breath, just let it continue. The breath just doing what it does. Because we're moving, it's not going to be entirely regular, and that's fine. We're just going to lay the movements on top of the breath. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're taking our stance. Rounding the pelvis slightly, extending the spine, head's coming up straight, settle into the stance. Feel the weight balanced between the forefoot and the heel. Can you feel the whole of the foot on the ground? Now, sinking in. The arms with the body. Use the body to move the arms. Eye lines following the palm that's uppermost. Arms are almost extended. Elbow gets just level. The shoulder at its highest. Palm when it's up is almost always above the shoulder. And because we're not moving the foot, because this is single stance, we're getting a stretch in the thigh adductor, which is just fine. All right, now we're going to do weight transfer. We'll need a slightly narrower stance. We're in the hand form, it would look like this. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to do some more like this, where I'll introduce a topic, really break down the movement, and then do a guided exercise at the end so you can follow along if you like. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, join me again. Bye-bye.